Enjoy this fun, real Fruit Loops cereal food demo I did on Debbie's Instagram at sweet.debbies.
I am so excited to welcome Chris Kendall today to my IG Live. He is at the Raw Advantage. If you want to follow him, he does the most incredible raw vegan recipes you have ever had. It is my honor to interview him today. I'm excited to welcome Chris. Wait till you see what he does. It is the raw vegan version of Fruit Loops. Remember Fruit Loops? You will not believe how amazing. Hello.
Blessings, Debbie. How you
Good.
doing?
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, I have to say. It's been a beautiful day.
Where are you again?
I am in Malmo, Sweden
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
move around a lot? Because you said right now. Like where else might you be?
I used to be a nomad, but I've been pretty stationary here for the last 4 years. I'm from Saskatchewan, Canada, and I moved out at 17, and for a good 20 years I was like a nomad for sure.
Hmm. And what made you go to Sweden?
The classic reason that most guys end up going to Sweden.
Skiing?
No, a Swedish girl.
Oh,
That's like 90% of the guys that end up here is because of the amazing Swedish women, and my
oh
sweetie
my God, I didn't know that.
told me
Okay.
here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that worked out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. Well, that is very exciting. I didn't know you were still in Sweden, so that is even more exciting. And I love your positive energy. You're always very
Oh.
positive and upbeat, and I just love that. It really exudes from you all the time. And I like, do you are you naturally, have you always been that way, or have you really purposefully worked at being as positive and upbeat as you are?
Well, I'd say I'm only positive and upbeat when the camera's on, and then I'm just a miserable wreck the rest of the time. Uh, no, but my essence for sure is joy and playfulness and being silly. I've always been that way, but I've lost it at a few different times in my life when, I just, whether it was from food or stress or a bunch of other things, and so just like anyone, I can lose it. But that's definitely my essence, and I like it when it bubbles forth, and that's one of the big reasons why I really stick with raw food
Right.
and being active and fitness and yoga and all these different practices that help me maintain it in this crazy world.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, crazy world is
Yeah.
right. But one more question. I just wanted to know what your, tell the people how you came across this raw vegan lifestyle. I'm sure you weren't born with it. So how
No.
how how did that happen?
Well, in a nutshell, I've been skateboarding since I remember. I think I have like one memory before skateboarding, and I moved out at 17, like I said, to be a nomad and fulfill my dreams. But that also kind of lent me into like drinking and smoking and partying and being on a budget, so eating really poor quality food all the time, as greasy as I could.
Hmm.
And I fell apart. I got depressed. I didn't want to live anymore. I was really in a very, very bad state. I found yoga in 1999 in Walmart. It was one of those $1 bins of VHS tape back then. And I took that on. It led me to realize that what we put in our mouth is vastly important and affects our physical, mental, emotional body. So I started researching more. Found a book called Fit for Life that changed my
Yeah,
life forever,
I remember.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and so yeah, I continually read more, utilized my body as the experiment, putting in more fresh fruits and vegetables, and sometimes swaying and finding out again and again that the more fruits and vegetables I eat, the better I feel. Until 24, actually, 2003, I went into holistic nutrition school in Vancouver, and during that, I met Dr. Graham, and he just like was a shining beacon, totally cleared things up for me, made it simple. The next day, I went all raw and found my purpose because all that time, like 5 years of research, was really just for skateboarding. When I went raw, I had a heart opening. It was just like, this is why I'm here. Skateboarding is amazing. I love it. I'm always going to do it. But this is why I'm here to spread this message. And it took me about 4.5 years of applying it, procrastinating, learning more, a big breakup before I was like, nope, this is 1000% it. Started my website. That's over 15 years ago. And I've only done that full time since then, just doing recipe books, coaching, doing retreats, talking and speaking, yoga at festivals, chefing at festivals. But yeah, it's been my full time job for 15 years.
That's That's incredible. I'm not very familiar with the food in Sweden. Are the Swedish people open to this type of lifestyle?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. They're more health conscious, more into fitness. You know, there are some rest or not, well, there's vegan and raw vegan restaurants. Not as many raw vegan anymore, but there's even grocery store sections and grocery stores that like have big vegan signs. Like there's one major grocery store market here called Ica,
Hmm.
and they have one that's known as the vegan Ica because like maybe an eighth of the store is like all vegan and tons of stuff, and it's pretty dang awesome. So they're more health conscious here for sure, I think, in
Oh, good.
general than the States or Canada.
Wow.
Maybe some pockets in the States and Canada, of course, right? But
Yeah,
it's pretty health conscious.
that is great to hear because I know in a lot of countries around the world it's not that way. So it's nice to hear that. That gives me hope.
Yeah, yeah. More and more people are waking up, and you know, it's also amazing here for skateboarding. I absolutely love that. I got some really great friends that are into raw food and understand too,
Mhm.
so they don't think I'm a crazy one. And I just absolutely love it. It's temperate climate, you know, but it's way warmer compared to where I grew up in Saskatchewan. It's kind of more like Vancouver, Seattle weatherish.
Okay.
So I love it.
And is your partner the, raw vegan as well?
She's really well versed in raw vegan as a vegan and raw vegan chef, and is a high raw vegan, kind of back and forth between vegan, high raw vegan.
Okay. So yeah, so that works. That you pretty much
Absolutely.
same thing.
Mm.
Great. Okay. Well, that is wonderful to hear. I'm always very interested in how people come across this lifestyle because I know that, our parents probably didn't know about it. So,
No, my first foods after mother's milk at I think 5 or 6 months old. I love you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. Was roast beef, mashed potatoes, and gravy. That was my first whole food. So crazy. It's crazy, you know, but they did their best. My mom actually served a lot of amazing, healthy, whole-based foods, always had good stuff. But then, you know, we'd nick and ask and get, you know, the flavored cereals and all that kind of stuff and pizza pops. And
yeah.
by the time I moved out, it was fair game for everything.
Do your parents support this lifestyle for you? Do they say, "Oh, come on, Chris, you gotta get some more protein"?
They are very, very proud of me and fully
Oh, good.
supportive. The first 5-ish years of my business, you know, I did travel, but they always had a home base and, you know, like no rent, and like supported me when I wasn't making much because it was a long road in the beginning, doing everything myself and making very, very little money, like, you know, yeah, very little. But they've been very supportive. The first 5, 6 years, they were like, you know, supportive, but also kind of wondering. And it
Right.
wasn't until about 6 years in, when I'd already started my business, my mom was like, "Hey, you should get some blood work done, you know, just to check things out, you know." And I
Hmm.
got the blood work done. My family doctor, he was kind of concerned,
Hmm.
but he said he would do it. I told him I did this for a living and I'd been 6 years on the path.
Hmm.
And he called me about a week later saying, "Hey, come in, I want to talk to you." I came in and he was sitting at the front desk, and I walked in and looked, and he's like smiling big. He's like, "Come here." He's like, "You changed someone's mind." He's like, "I thought I was gonna have to give you protein pills and calcium pills and iron and B12 and all this kind of stuff." He's like, "But your results are the best I've seen in my career." And I'm not even just saying that as a joke. Like, he actually said those words, "Are the best I've seen in my career."
God,
Um, he said about like 6 months ago, I would have thought that your cholesterol was too low, but I've seen the most recent science and went to a symposium on cholesterol. He's like, "Yours is perfect. It's like a baby." Like, and so, anyways, yeah, he actually has modified his diet, recommended me to patients and his daughter.
wow.
And when I go in there now, he's sometimes it's like, "Oh, like I'm not all the way raw, and I'm, you know, I'm still having some fish, but like, you know, I'm eating way more fruits and vegetables." It's like it's really awesome.
That's great. See that you spread the word just by example, basically, which is great. I love that. We have to keep doing that. So good. Oh, that's a great story.
I've knocked my head against that more than a few times, you know, like trying to push and trying to like tell people that they should read this or give that up.
Hmm.
And you're exactly right. Just being the example, being as happy about it as you can, and busting through the social stigmas and,
Right.
you know, shining bright. I think it really gets people to be more curious about it than anything else you can do.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I can't wait to see how you make this cereal because I'm going to do it after you show us how. It's in the bundle.
All
I'm just
right.
do it. I'm so excited. Everyone should be very excited about this demonstration.
It is super duper tasty and it is incredibly easy. I'm a little bit self-conscious because it will literally take like a couple of minutes and it'll be like, there we go. And I'll probably want to eat it because, it stays, it's not like it goes bad, but it has banana milk in it. And of course, that slowly goes a little bit brown. And I will say too, it's unfortunately not a recipe that you're probably just going to be like right into your pantry and have the ingredients right then. You'll probably have to go look for one of the main ingredients for it, possibly even order it online. But it is amazing, delicious, and a really just quick snap kind of replacement for kind of cereals and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So let's see. I even have my little iPad here. There we go. I'll just flash it. Oh, well, it's broken. I can't watch it now. Yeah, I call it real Fruit Loops. This is what it's gonna hopefully look like.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yum.
So, I mean, you obviously could make it with fresh fruit, but the main ingredient that is like the crispy kind of fruit is
Mhm.
actually freeze-dried fruit.
Ah,
So So that's the secret to it. And I mean, obviously, I don't have a freeze dryer. I picked this up at a grocer here,
mhm.
so it's more and more commonly being able to be found. I do know also, just so you know, that Dan Enzyme he has a real Fruit Loops cereal as well. That he actually makes the Fruit Loops in the dehydrator. So that's another really fun one as well if
Yeah,
you have a dehydrator.
I saw that.
But this recipe just starts with, I believe it's just 1 cup, 460 grams, or see, actually, well, 30 grams. And I did measure this out because when I made the recipe for the picture, I used half of this. And any mix of freeze-dried fruit can really do. But it's amazing that 30 grams is like quite a lot. Like this is 30 grams. I should maybe turn this down just a little
Yeah.
bit so we can make life. Oh gosh, don't fall on me, please. Don't fall. So
Okay.
it it's
Okay.
actually quite a lot,
Yeah.
right? So, and I'm going to break it up into little bits. And I'm really sorry if it's disappointing if the secret ingredient is just something that's a little bit harder to get and you have to
I've
purchase it. But I swear,
I've seen freeze-dried fruit in the stores now. There's a variety of like strawberries, freeze-dried
yeah,
raspberries. What
yeah.
what is in your mix?
So this one is a mix of peaches, strawberries, and plums,
Oh, wow.
and
That's
they are really nice.
nice. Yeah, that's plums. I've not seen that, the freeze-dried version of plums.
They're pretty nice. They have a bit of a tartness, which is kind of a good mix with all of this kind of
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah.
I really love the peaches, and there's raspberries too. Look at that. So we have
Yes.
raspberries, and
Yes.
you're right.
I bought the
Big,
freeze-dried raspberries. They're very good.
and then freeze-dried strawberries. And you're totally right. They are way more common. Maybe 5 years ago this wouldn't be as common, but most grocery stores or bigger ones have them, and you can definitely order them online from Amazon. Maybe even get a little bit of a better
Mhm.
deal. Not that I'm super pro Amazon, but I mean it's
Yeah.
pretty convenient.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna break this up. I do have an exotic that I haven't put in this cereal before, and I'm gonna put it in here just because this is gonna be my dinner, or at the very least, my start for my dinner. I think it's gonna be a late night, so this might be first dinner, and I might have another dinner
Oh,
later since it's
what
behind
time
the time.
for you?
It's 7 o'clock here.
Oh, wow. 7 p.m.
Yeah, 7
Oh,
p.m. So for me, the bundle ends at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and for everyone else, 11:59 p.m.
right.
PST tonight. But I'm thinking because it's the last day, I'm the admin and just handling the customer service and also want to put out a whole bunch of stuff. I might be up pretty late. It might be 4 or 5 a.m. for me. I don't think I'll make it to 9,
Mm.
but
Oh,
I'm gonna be up late. So this might be dinner one, and I might have dinner two at midnight, which isn't normal. I'm not recommending that as like the healthful approach,
right.
but this is Leo's here. Hopefully he'll come out.
Mhm.
He's under the table on the chair beside me right now. My lovely boy cat. But I have these freeze dried durian cubes
Ooh,
that
oh
my
my God.
yeah,
I
they
didn't
are insane.
know those.
So good. I know you can get them on the Year of the Durian website, and they have some of the best quality fresh durian in the world,
Mm-hmm.
shipped anywhere worldwide, I think, and tons of varieties. But this one was actually a gift from my friend Michelle's girlfriend Lena. She went to She went to Thailand and she grabbed a whole bunch.
Oh
So
my
I
gosh.
can't help it, but I'm gonna put some of this in here. And I know that's not in the recipe, and it's a little extra exotic,
That's
but just
okay.
because,
It's a special.
just because. This is a special day here, and this kind of just shows, to play with it, have fun, try different things, and it doesn't have to be these exact freeze-dried
No.
ingredients. It could be whichever ones you
Yeah,
like.
exactly. Oh,
I'm
durian.
sorry. I'm sorry. Look at that.
That,
I'm.
oh gosh. Can
Is
you
it
explain
okay if I eat one?
what is, I know what it is because I've been a part of your bundles for many years, or for 2 years, and the other bundles. I learned of it through being in the bundles. But can you explain what durian is? I know my people probably don't know what it is. Your people probably do. But
Yeah.
what is durian?
Yes. Durian is the king of fruits. It is amazing. It is, a very exotic fruit that grows in the tropics, originated in the Asian continents, and it's been around for a really, really long time, like
Mm-hmm.
older than most fruits. We're talking thousands and thousands of years, and there's many, many different varieties. It's the highest protein fruit that's out there, and it's also moderately fatty fruit. It can range from,
Mm-hmm.
like, I think 12 to 25% fat
Yeah.
content, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And it's really creamy,
Yeah.
and it's got a fair amount of sulfur. Some varieties have more and some have less, and that's actually what gives it a smell that makes it very, very famous. In the
Mm-hmm.
countries they're grown, they have like no durian signs on hotels and in buses and in airports, because the people that love them, when they smell them, they're like, oh my gosh, like mouth watering. The
Yeah.
people that don't like them, they think they smell like diapers and rotten eggs.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you, like once you get a taste for it, and especially I usually recommend the sweeter varieties that have little to no sulfur taste. They just taste like the best fresh, like pudding or custard, like,
Yeah.
and it's so
Yeah.
good. It's so
Yeah.
good. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I've had some that taste like exactly like Cool Whip. I've had some that taste like exactly like vanilla ice cream. I've had ones with hints of almond, hints of peanut butter, hints of bubble gum. Like, it is amazing. It's one of the best fruits, and it's one of those fruits too that people go so nuts over. They'll travel across the world more for the fruit than for the culture.
Right.
Like, it's crazy. But
Yeah.
it's so good. So can I eat one? Is
Yeah.
that
Go
wrong? Is that
ahead. Go ahead. We'll live
yeah?
vicariously.
Mm. It is so good. Right now in my mouth, it's so good.
Like, can you describe it?
Mm. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like if you had butterscotch custard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because custard is a little eggy, so it has a little bit of that sulfury kind of like custard butterscotch, like sponge, but it's crispy, so it's like like astronaut food. It is ridiculous. It is. I could almost live off these, but then I would start to shrivel up like a raisin and be like, "Argh," but I'd be so happy I wouldn't stop. I'd just be like, oh,
Oh,
more. It's
we got to
that
get
good.
durian, those freeze-dried durian. Oh, it's
Yeah, it's a freeze dried durian. Someone's asking about that freeze dried durian, so
yeah.
I'm gonna add a little bit extra. I'm not gonna. Oh gosh, don't eat this.
Don't
Just do not eat that.
that. No.
No. Oh God. Okay, that's nice. A couple extra little special nuggets of happiness and joy. So I'll just show this.
Okay. Wow. That looks amazing. Just that.
Yeah, that's gonna be really darn good. So I'm also going to take one banana. Oh, here we go. I got these bio eco bananas, which are
Okay.
pretty darn nice. Get really good prices on bananas out here, I tell you.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. I'm getting cases of 18 kilograms or like 40 pounds for usually about $18. Pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So instead of knifing it, I'm going to spoon it so I
Okay.
can hold it up like this. So I'm just going to use that and just make a whole bunch of little slices right in there,
Okay.
right off the peel.
Mm-hmm.
But we have some fresh, some freeze dried. I mean, you
Uh-huh.
could also, of course, add any fresh fruits, maybe some berries, some fresh blueberries would be really amazing in there, I
Yeah,
think.
absolutely.
So we got that going on, right? There we go.
For people who are just joining, Chris is making a Fruit Loops type cereal. He uses freeze-dried raspberries, strawberries, plums, durian, and added fresh banana.
Yeah. And some freeze-dried peaches too. These
Oh,
freeze-dried peaches,
right.
I might have to eat one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
It's
melts in your mouth. It's so
yeah.
crazy. Like, so crazy. Okay, so all the recipes in my book, unless otherwise stated, are made to be 500 calories, just to make things easy for people to multiply. Because I find a lot of people, most women in general, this is a very generalization, require around 2,000 calories. So that's, four of the recipes, and four meals for most people kind of new to the lifestyle is a pretty approachable amount of meals.
Hmm. Yeah.
As time goes on, usually the meals get bigger and they get a little bit fewer. And so you could double up the lunch meal and just have three meals. And I often would make a double meal because most of my meals are about 1,000 calories because I usually eat about 3,000 calories a day. And often I'm eating a full blender that is 1,500 calories, right? So that ends up being two meals a day. So, but this one I'm going to stick it to the original. I think here actually, yep, I didn't list the calories. So that means this is about 500 calories with this
Mhm.
amount, which is 30 grams of the fruit, freeze-dried fruit, and four bananas.
Okay.
I put one in there. And then I'm going to put three bananas in the blender. There we go. Well, you can't really see, hey? I wonder if I can back up a little bit more and tilt it a little bit. Let's get this action going on here. I don't want to lose the top of my head and just be like out of the screen, just showing my shirt because you can't buy this shirt anymore. So I don't want to show it too much. Peace, love, and seasonal fruit.
Uh,
Maybe you can.
somebody asked, is freeze dried the same as frozen? And I said it's different, but maybe you can explain, Chris, the difference between freeze dried and frozen and dehydrated, because a lot of people don't know the
Yeah,
difference.
no problem. So, freeze dried is is actually the best method of preservation for the most amount of nutrition, and it stays freshest the longest. I mean, as fresh as dried is, right? Freezing is right next to it. But with freeze drying, they have a special machine that really quickly flash freezes it, and that's why it actually has less nutrient loss than the standard freezer that the ice crystals and other stuff happens, and that causes some loss in nutrition.
Hmm.
So it freezes it really quick, and then it pulls all of the ice or the moisture out of it. So you end up just with it's just crazy. It's like I don't even know how to describe it. Like a sponge, but much more dense than a sponge. It's just
Hmm.
the same shape of the food. It shrinks a little bit, but it just stays so fresh. And because it removes the what's it called, the water from it so quickly that, or no, the water from it is slower, but the freezing of it is faster. So, and actually I've learned too that they even have now vacuum freeze dryers, which then also remove the oxygen, and then that also lessens nutrient loss because oxygen affects certain nutrients and utilizes the antioxidants in the food. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's a pretty neat thing. Like, I mean, I know Lisa, she actually in her book,
Mhm.
Tales from the Tailgate, they have a
Yeah.
whole bunch of freeze-dried recipes because they actually bought a freeze dryer.
Oh,
Um,
no, they did.
yeah,
I
they did.
knew one. They're expensive.
They
So
are.
it's, but Nate saved up for it, and they make their little snacks in there. It's, ugh, I'm so jealous. They have the
It,
best snacks.
it's so darn cool. Yeah, like they have like different things that they can put in a jar and then just add water and it turns into
Yeah.
curries and sauces and
Yes.
all these dishes. Like I've dreamt of that too and dreamt of like a freeze dryer book. I think they're going to actually make one. And in the book, it has their recommendation for the freeze dryer that they
Hmm.
use.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's thousands of dollars for
Right.
sure. So it's an investment, but I mean, there's a lot of things that people put thousands of dollars to, right? So it just depends on really how important it is to you. And I don't have one, so I'm not trying to sell it, but they are cool. One day I will have one. Like I'd way rather have a freeze dryer than an oven, for
Yeah.
example, and you're going to spend thousands on an
Right.
oven, right? So,
Right.
so, so we got in here three bananas. I'll keep it true to the recipe, and I have 1 cup of
Okay.
water.
So you're making banana milk.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Just want to
Just
explain.
very simple.
Yeah.
Very
We're
simple. I
banana
mean,
milk.
to me, the difference between banana milk and a banana smoothie is, I guess, to some degree, it's the wording, but to me, a banana smoothie is thicker. When I make a smoothie, I actually don't add water to it unless I absolutely have to. So when I'm making a just a straight banana smoothie, I don't put any water at all. And with the Vitamix, it makes it really liquidy. Like people would think it'd be like a pudding, but no, it's like it pours very, very good. It's still
Hmm.
liquidy. bananas being around 77 or 70, 74 to 77% water, depending. So they
Mm-hmm.
actually get pretty liquidy. And especially in a vacuum blender, which I'm going to show you a little trick here, it makes it even more liquidy because there's less air whipped into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the milk, I mean, it's really just a watered down banana smoothie, but it still
Mm-hmm.
tastes very banana. And it's, I mean, what is a milk? It's a white liquid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, banana milk is definitely much more compassionate and better for the body and really easily accessible. Just throw a couple bananas in, a little bit of water, and then
Mm-hmm.
boom, you could
Yeah.
pour it over whatever you want, really, you know?
Right.
So I love it. I was going to pour that in there. Let's see. I'll get this camera set up a little bit better so you can see my little setup here. So I got this Vitamix Ascent series, and I've been rocking Vitamixes for 25 years actually. I got my first one in '99, and that one's still in use at my brother's house. And this is my third one. This is an Ascent series, which unfortunately different containers don't work on it. I had bought a BioChef carafe, like a container that has a lid and this little pump here, so you can turn it into a vacuum blender.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, by no means am I like, oh gosh, you need vacuum blending, but it is amazing. Once you've tried it, you don't want to go
I
back. You know, it's amazing.
Lissa says that too. Can you explain to the audience what is a vacuum blender, or what the little device, what it does?
Yeah, basically what it does is it's a vacuum pump. And I mean, even in winemaking and stuff like that, like they use a little vacuum pump for their wines and stuff. And you can even get like a wine pump kit that you can make a DIY kind of kit for your own Vitamix, which I have a video called what is it? DIY vacuum blender Vitamix or something like that. The Raw Advantage. If you search that, it's pretty easy. You can make a kit for like 30 bucks on most Vitamixes. And when I got this new one with this plastic lid that only accepts the carafe that is made for it. Like I have another one, like I said, that was designed for this. It won't work on here. So I had to come up with another way to kind of jimmy it and make it work, right? But what the vacuum blender does is it removes a large percentage of the oxygen from the actual container.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing so, when you're blending, you know, when you blend, especially at high speeds, it's pulling a lot of air into the smoothie and whipping every single little bit of it with air.
Mm-hmm.
And the air actually diminishes the antioxidant capacity of the food itself. And I mean, the antioxidants are in part responsible for uh, busting up free radicals in your body, as well as for the taste and for the color of the food and for how long it's going to last. That's when the food starts to brown. That's the oxygen being interacting with the antioxidants, right? You can tell I'm not getting enough sleep lately. Um, but the amazing thing is, like, I've done side by side comparisons,
Yeah.
and I tell you, I mean, the texture is completely different. Like, one feels fluffy. I don't know if you ever had Orange Julius back in the day. Um,
Yes.
yeah, you know how frothy those were?
Yes.
So that's what like a regular smoothie feels
Yeah.
like compared to a glass of water, but like it feels wet. It's really weird. Like one feels like frothy and the other actually just feels wet in your mouth. You know, it's really weird. And also less separation. You know, some smoothies they separate over time. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't separate as much.
Wow.
The color is brighter. The antioxidants are about, I think it's, if I remember right, don't quote me, but I think it's about 25 to 35% higher antioxidant levels in a vacuum blend.
Yeah.
And again, they just last longer. So I know some people like John Kohler, he used to vacuum blend and then put in jars and then vacuum seal, and he'd like keep stuff for a week or longer, and it felt just as fresh as like the day
Yeah.
before, you know? So
Yes. And Lissa says it tastes better. Whatever you're making, it
yes.
just tastes.
It does. It does. And you know, something else that I remember for a little bit of a throwback, Durian Rider really used to talk about a lot is if they're making smoothies, because this is way before vacuum blending, they would just make sure to slow blend and pulse to make sure that the vortex doesn't happen, sucking a whole bunch of air.
Mm-hmm.
And then just by doing that, so you're not just turning it on full blast and pulling a lot of air into it, the smoothie does lose less antioxidant capacity because the surface isn't just pulling air in,
Mm-hmm.
and that way you're going to be actually getting a nicer taste and all these kind of similar benefits as vacuum blending. So that's just a hot tip if you don't have a vacuum blender, you're not really wanting to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is really cool. I've kind of got come up with my way. I've used a couple different kind of silicone stretch lids. This one's from IKEA, and it's got a really nice kind
Oh.
of crinkly
Oh
base.
wow.
I think it was like $12 for a couple of them, but this size fits the Vitamix perfectly.
Okay.
So I just stretch that over top. It's like a shower cap for the Vitamix. It's ready to take a shower now. And in one of my other food demos, I actually broke this in. So I put it on and then I just cut couple little holes. And a little tip though, you don't want to put the hole right in the center because the vacuum, you don't want things to splash up into the vacuum and the vacuum's going to go in the center. So I put the holes around the side. So even if there's splashing, it hits the guard instead of just going up and wrecking the vacuum, right?
Yep.
So we got that. And then I just put this on there and maybe I'll stand up, maybe not. There we go. It might even bounce off. There's enough pressure on there. And I actually have a second one over here. I've unfortunately heard that this company may have gone out of business and it's getting harder and harder to find them. So I do have two, and I'm going to be looking for replacements and other things because I was actually going to make a full dedicated video showing this. And I actually had it filmed, and then I found out that they're going out of business, so I don't really feel super comfortable making a full dedicated video. But I always want to share about what I'm doing and about this, and I'll find another replacement because I actually did also buy a different one. It was called Sage, and that's another vacuum, but it's only battery powered, whereas this one can plug in, and I'd rather have it plugged in.
Right.
And this one just didn't work quite as good either. Just not quite as good. So a little bit of back to the drawing board, and I'll eventually make a new video. So I'm just going to put this on here and vacuum it up. It's amazing how I made like a 2-minute recipe take like half an hour already. Hey,
Well, because filling in with all the background information, which I know people are going to want to know. That's so it's a very full demonstration with background and show and tell. Let's understand where our fruit comes from.
Absolutely.
So,
Give options. So we got this. We have Leo over there. Oh no, Leo's gone. So this just takes a little bit of time, especially the more. Oh, there we are. The more empty it is, like if of course if the container's almost full, it takes a lot less time to vacuum. If it's really empty, there's more space for it to vacuum. So I'll just wait for a minute for it. Not a literal minute, just like a little bit longer, just to let it go.
okay.
And I'll show you this. Show you this again for all the newcomers. We got
a lot of
a mix of sliced fresh banana with a bowl full of freeze-dried fruit, which is a mix of peaches, plums, raspberries, strawberries, and some very special freeze-dried durian that I was gifted from Lena and Michelle. So that's going to be really amazing. And this is about 30 grams roughly. We have 1 banana in there, and we have 3 bananas in the blender with a cup of water, and that's it. And I think we're ready to blend. Let's give her the guns. So turn it on. I'll hit the smoothie button. This fancy Ascent series has a smoothie button. I actually like the dial a little better, but this works. So, there we go.
Okay. Just making banana milk. For those who just joined, bananas and water. He vacuumed it first to get out
That's enough.
the nutrients.
So, check this out. Yeah, you can see. Watch what happens here. Sometimes it's more loud and like a drum, like boom, and like really drops a whole bunch because of the suction. Apparently, I didn't vacuum it quite enough, but it is really neat. And I'll turn this back this way, maybe. When I do this, and if you compare like a vacuumed banana smoothie compared to another one, the vacuum one's actually like it's brighter, like it looks yellow. Like it looks like a yellow smoothie. It's really really neat, and like I said, it is more watery. And I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad who doesn't use vacuum blending, because if I didn't have my vacuum blender, I'd still blend. It's not like it's like needed or necessary. Right. But again, once you try it, the saying goes, once you go back, you never go back. It's just, how it is, right? So.
Right. Exactly. That's good. Yeah. Yes. It's just like a little extra something that makes it just a little better. Okay, so now we have our Fruit Loops made from freeze-dried fruit, and Chris is adding his freshly made vacuumed banana milk.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And you can just eat it up right then, right now. If you want it to be a little bit more crispy, kind of classic to a more like a cereal. But I
So,
mean, I know some people they actually like their cereal to get a little soggy. You could let it sit if you want and let the freeze-dried fruit rehydrate a bit. But
yeah. So Anne is asking if you don't have the suction part, um, can you use a food saver one or pulse suction? What I don't understand pulse suction. She's asking, what if you can't find the part that you have, Chris?
you know,
What is there another?
I started with the this is not what you're thinking. You get your mind out of the gutter. No, I'm just joking. Sorry. Some little kid came in and he asked me what this was, but it was for a wine pump, and it works like this. So you put it on there, and but it is, yeah, for pumping the air out of wine bottles. And I
Okay.
did use that, and it does work to an extent, but it's not near as effective, and that's why I've continually tried different devices,
Yeah.
and the vacuum one. Like, you can go online on Amazon and look for different types of vacuum pumps, and it does take some trial and error. I wish again that I had a really perfect solution. This was it. This was the one that I was going to be like recommending, but it's not super inexpensive. It's like, I think it was like $180 for like this little freaking pump,
Uh,
like crazy.
yeah.
So, but unfortunately it's out. The other one I got was like $100 too. And this one, I think I got like this with a bunch of stoppers for like $30. And that video that I mentioned, the do-it-yourself hack,
Yeah.
it's just like a $30 fix with a hand pump and a little tub stopper for a bathtub. You kind of like glue it in there and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I know one friend actually who had this, and he basically actually like glued a wine kind of pump kind of thing on top, so there's like one piece and completely airtight,
Mm-hmm.
and then that way he doesn't have this thing at all, right?
Oh,
So
I
there is
see.
different ways of doing it. There are a couple different hack videos, and there is even like hack videos on how to use a $60 NutriBullet, or like Magic Bullet blender, and turn that into a vacuum blender. So you don't necessarily need a Vitamix. You can also even get dedicated vacuum blenders. Like, I think Kuvigs and a couple different brands offer them. But the only trouble with them, and I think this is hopefully just going to improve over time, is you know it, they can falter, right? You can get stuff sprayed into the vacuum, and the vacuum thing is going to be the most likely thing to break down on you. So I've had two dedicated vacuum blenders off Amazon for like $80 to $90,
Mhm.
but they both lasted about a year, and then they just stopped working. So I think that's the main reason why Vitamix does not have one out, and I'm an affiliate for them, and I'm kind of poking them because I'd love to see a Vitamix vacuum blender, but because they are known to have the best warranty in the business, I wouldn't doubt that they're a little bit wary to introduce something that could cause a lot of warranty issues, right? So, but hopefully in time, and there are different options out there.
Mhm.
So I'm going to take a bite here just to satisfy
Yeah,
everyone.
we got to see you eat it. Makes that puts
I think you guys need to see me eat every bite. I'm not even going to talk. I'm just going to eat the rest of this. I'm just going to stare. I'm going to mad dog the camera.
your dinner. As
Mm.
it said, as people who are just joining, it's 7 p.m. in Sweden where Chris lives.
Fruit Loops for dinner? I feel like a kid again. I had a durian bite on my first go, and it was
Oh,
fantastic. Mm,
wow.
mm. It is seriously so ridiculous. It's way, way better than the junk Fruit
Oh, of
Loops.
course.
Way,
Oh, God.
way better. And I mean, yeah, sure. Like I said, you got to go get some freeze-dried fruit. It's a little bit of a treat. I probably wouldn't have this every single day, but it's a
Yeah.
really fun recipe to have once in a while.
Yeah.
And for kids, I mean, kids would be blown away.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Yeah. And it's
Wow.
Mother's Day, so let's give our kids some
Mm.
freeze-dried fruit instead of the crappy chemically ridden Fruit Loops.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Amen to that. No, this is ridiculous. And because I vacuum blended it, it shouldn't go brown as fast. So you can
Oh,
see it's like,
that's interesting. Yes.
mm,
So it's vacuum blend. The banana milk is vacuum blended for those of you who are just joining. So vacuum blending the banana milk helps it not turn brown as quickly.
yeah,
That's a good point.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'll take one more bite and then I'll put it aside.
So
Mm,
so Chris and I are it's actually, Chris is actually one of the hosts of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. Today is the
mhm,
last day you can get it.
mhm.
It's over 34 different ebooks and courses and 400 recipes, all raw vegan, low fat. and
Mm.
it is incredible. It will be going away tonight, 11:59 p.m. Pacific. So you
Yeah.
can't ever get it again
Yeah.
because next year it'll be a totally different bundle.
Yeah.
So get it, grab it from Chris's link or my link, whatever you want. We both have it in our links, and
Your
you will
book's
not.
amazing, by the way. Your
Hmm?
book's amazing, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I saw you made one of the recipes, so thank you for that.
It
Yeah,
was so good. Yeah, I made the Georgia peach. It was
yes,
really delicious.
yes, the Georgia peach smoothie.
Yeah.
So yeah, so grab. It's going to be gone. Have a great Mother's Day. Give yourself a gift, even if you don't have a mom, or even if you're not a mother. Just give yourself a gift today because you will not be sorry. What else do you have to say about it, Chris?
Well, I mean, in the spirit of Mother's Day, we all deserve a adult-sized dose of nurturing, and mothers, they're the king of nurturing, right? So, yeah, like you said, regardless if you have a mother or not, like bring that motherly kind of love towards yourself. Find different ways you can nurture yourself, and whether it's with really healthy raw food or whether it's with fitness, like the easy yoga kind of beginners class, or more mindful kind of self-loving thoughts, like in Start from Love from Sachi. There's so many different ways to really come together and to find ways you can embetter yourself and be more compassionate and loving to yourself. So
Yes.
that's what
That's
I definitely recommend checking it out. It's to me it's a no-brainer. I mean, if I would have had something like this 15, 20 years ago when I first got into raw food, I would have been blown away. Instead, I was buying, one paper book for like $15.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean the material, the amount of material is all of it is it's so incredibly valuable, and it's worth, if you add it all up, it's worth over $800. Yet it is only going to cost the people $50, which is such a deal. It's money well spent, and you don't have to be fully raw vegan. I'm certainly not 100%
No.
raw vegan, but I have benefited from these recipes because I like to dabble, and I've learned so much from it because I'm not an expert. I don't know as much as you and Lissa and all the other raw vegan chefs that are in there. So I'm learning. I'm enjoying. I'm just blown away by the creativity
Yeah,
of these recipes. I
me
don't
too.
know how.
Here I am just mashing bananas together, and people are making like gnocchi and like pierogies and like po' boys and
Balls and
meat.
beef, Korean
Yeah,
beef.
it's pretty dang amazing, and you're spot on. It doesn't matter, where you're coming from. Everyone knows that adding in more fresh fruits and vegetables, and some fitness and some mindfulness can really help in the big picture and in the long term. And like we said in the beginning, it's kind of a crazy world right now, and there's a lot of realities right now that I truthfully, very straight up, think that it's even more important than ever to take exquisite care of yourself, and build your immune system. And this is a great way to actually do that for yourself, for your family, to be an example, and to have those recipes on hand. You can invite people over and get them interested in more healthy food too, without pushing it on them, right? So,
Yeah.
you don't just have to, say, eat this banana and carrot sticks. Like, you can make ridiculous, amazing food.
You
It's, it's,
just
it's,
serve it. You don't even have to say that it's raw vegan
no,
or plant-based or
yeah.
whatever it is, because that's what I did when I started whole food plant-based. It was just making good food, serving it, not saying anything, and people going up for seconds and thirds. And did you know that there's no meat in what you just ate? Really? That was the reality. It's like it was so good that my husband didn't care. He's eating it. My neighbors, my friends. So it's just make the good food. Don't talk about it. Don't proselytize, and you're going to create a whole community without any resistance. And then they'll be
Absolutely.
healthier. The world will be healthier. The animals won't die, and we'll all be much better off.
Absolutely. Amen to that. I 100% agree. All the mothers of the world would be happier that they're not losing their kids, right? So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree more. You were smarter than me, because when I started, I did kind of become a raw vegan evangelist and, spread the word. And obviously there's a time and a place for everything, but sometimes you can butt your head up against things and turn people
Yeah.
off, right? So,
Oh, yeah.
so
Definitely. Yeah. So thank you, Chris, for coming on with me today. I'm very honored to have you. It's such a pleasure to talk to you and have your good energy flowing through from Sweden. I love it. And I'm encouraging everybody who's on to get the bundle, get it from our links. If you have questions, DM Chris or me and ask any questions. We're here for you. We want to help you. We want to help you thrive in your life. That's why we're here. That's our purpose. So thank you
Absolutely.
for joining us, everyone who's been on, and thank you, Chris, for this great demonstration. I think easier is better because people tend to get very intimidated if it's a little bit more complicated. So look how easy anyone can do it,
Me
even your
too.
kids. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a great little recipe that we could all do very easily, and it takes 5 seconds to pour the freeze
Yeah.
dried cereal.
Or a half an hour if you're talking a whole bunch, and it
Right,
is just so true,
laughing
living healthfully.
away. It's going to
I'm
take
just
a half
blah
hour, but
blah 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 blah. Living healthy can be incredibly easy and fast. There is no faster food than fruit. You just peel it and eat it, and there's lots and lots of really simple books and simple recipes. And then there's also really inspired creations that you can spend a bit more time for those special holidays or when you just need something extra, right? So it
absolutely.
fits everyone, every mood, every situation, and you get to decide. But with the bundle, you have all that plethora of choices. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So we're gonna sign off. Thank you so much for
Mm,
joining. Take take 5 seconds, get the bundle. You will not regret it. We
mm,
promise.
mm,
And we will be here for you if you ever have any questions. Oh, there we
mm,
go. There we go. That is a bowl of cereal like I never saw before.
Best
Amazing.
cereal I ever had.
Best
Mm,
cereal ever. So get the bundle. You get the recipes for all of that's only one. Chris has a lot of recipes in his book. I have
mhm.
recipes in mine. Oh, Quantum Field Coach is upset that they missed the recipe.
Uh,
Um, well, I just got to get the bundle now.
you'll be able to watch the replay though. That's a good thing. But there's
Oh,
so
yes,
much more in the bundle.
as a replay. That's true. I'm
Mhm.
gonna put this on right now, and you'll see what we did. So you will not miss anything. I'm gonna share it, and you can see it. So thank you again, Chris. Enjoy your dinner,
Thank you
and
so much, Debbie.
thank you so much. It was great seeing you.
You too.
Bye.
You too. Have an awesome rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye. We're in the final hours of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle for 2024. All brand new, never before released resources. Check it out now before it's gone, because when it's gone, it's gone.